The Tennessee Titans are getting predicted on websites to go like 7-10 or 8-9, and I think that that's flat out disrespectful. And obviously, the last time that I did this, I helped the Titans fan base realize that we were being disrespected, and now I will show y'all that we are still being disrespected. Yeah, we've got a lot to talk about. What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the Titans Rundown. I am your host, Micah McCamey, and uh, let's just get the elephant in the room out of the way before we go on with the rest of this episode. Yes, this is not edited. This is not CGI'd on me. I do actually have a buzz cut. Now, I know what some people are thinking. Why did you buzz cut? The long hair looked better and whatever. But, like, I just want to explain this. This is a thing that has been going on. So at my school, I've told y'all before, I record film for football. So, uh, uh, so the football team decided, hey, why not like almost all of us get a buzz cut? Not every single person did, but a good amount of them are getting buzz cuts. So I thought to myself, hey, the coaches described me as basically a part of the team, so why not get it? And it makes showers 10 times easier. Like y'all probably couldn't tell. I just took a shower. Like y'all probably couldn't even tell. But anyway, so yeah, elephant out of the room. Now we can get into the actual episode. So let's get right on into it, starting out with the section that is completely and utterly infamous, whether you love it or you hate it. And it is the 3 minute section where I don't talk about the Titans, and I talk about what's going on in my personal life, college football, or other stuff around the NFL. Let's talk about college football today. So today So no, yesterday. So today, LSU and FSU duel tonight, which is going to be the second best game of the weekend because my guy, prime time, Deion Sanders himself, and Sonny Dykes provided us the best game of Week 1 and may potentially be the best game of this year already. TCU and Colorado had a high-scoring juggernaut of a game that I wish I could have watched. And that leads me into what I'm going to talk about here. The Tennessee Vols and us absolutely running through Virginia. Now, I know Virginia is not the most tough opponent, and we did let them score 13 points, but our defense looked so much more improved. Like it was so nice to watch that our defense could our defense was actually doing stuff. Like Joe Milton had a period of time in that game where he kind of struggled a little bit, but the defense made up for it and that uh, showed that they can be leaned on, which made me really happy. And also, Joe Milton, he had that like 1 or 2 drive stint where he was kind of struggling, but he was great otherwise. He threw 2 touchdowns. Now, it'll only say 201 yards on the stat sheet, but every Vols fan who actually watched that game knows dang well that that should have been 3 touchdowns and almost 300 yards because Ramel Keaton dropped an absolute dime from from Joe Milton. Like it was like a 70 yard. It was like 60 to 70 yards or something stupid like that. If I'm remembering correctly, he threw that ball and it was perfect. It was right there. No corners. Well, there was one corner that was like a few feet behind him, but like still barely any corners in the area, and he dropped it, which was really upsetting. But anyway, yeah. So apart from, I think that killed his confidence throughout the first little bit of that game. But after that, he was lights out. The team was lights out. The running game was awesome. The offensive line didn't do as bad as I was expecting them to do. And yeah, I mean, I'm satisfied with what we did. this week. And we're going to play Austin P next week. Should be a blowout. But then we're going to go on to play against Florida. That will be our first true test. Not because they're that great. No, they're meh at best. But we're going to be able to see what this team is like on the road, and we're also going to be able to see this team go through an actual opponent that's not a American athletic team. I'm not too sure if Austin P is actually in there, or a NCC team that really just belongs in the group of 5. So anyway, yeah, overall Vols game A-. Feel like that there were a couple of things that we could have done better, but yeah, overall great game. So uh, now we're going to get into the actual episode's content. So if you did watch through that, thank you. But if you didn't, we're talking about the Titans right now. So, feel free to join back in. Anyway, so today I've got my notebook with me. And usually whenever I'm doing this, I'm talking about what happened during a game. But that's not going to be the case today. What I'm going to be talking about is, okay, well, first off, I did a video a while back where I predicted what games I felt like that the Titans were going to win. And let's just say a lot has changed since then about my opinion on the Titans. And also, DeAndre Hopkins has signed since then, and injuries have happened, and, Treylon's looked much improved, and, you get the point. But anyway, let's talk about it. So instead of going through each team one by one like I did the first time that I did this, I'm just going to tell y'all which ones I have us winning and which ones I have us losing. Okay, so the wins of this year I think are going to be the Saints, the Chargers, the Colts, the Ravens, the Falcons, the Bucks, the Panthers, the Colts, the Texans twice, the Seahawks, and I think that that's all. I may have missed out on one. Okay, so there are a couple of controversial. There are a couple of controversial things in there because let me take a look. I have us winning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have us winning 11 games. Now, I understand if you want to take away the Seahawks and the Ravens, and maybe the Chargers even, but I just genuinely do believe that this team has 11-6 in them, and I do believe that we have enough of an. If you've seen I know that I talked about it in one episode about us against the Chargers. If you've seen that episode, you know that I feel like that we have enough steam to go toe to toe with the Chargers, especially because our coach. I feel like that Vrabel is a better head coach, and um, and we've got a good enough receiving core. I think that we have a better defense. Like, we don't have a more talented defense, but I think we have a better defense. And yeah, I just feel like that we could very easily win that game. I think we sweep the Colts and the Texans. Now I know that we've struggled with winning both games against the Texans over the past 2-3-ish years, but I got a feeling that this is just going to be that year that we finally just decide that we just finally beat them twice, which feels weird to say. But we've also got to talk about the fact that they have a rookie quarterback. That's why I have us beating all of the rookie quarterbacks on our schedule. It's because the Titans' defense is very complex, and most rookies and young QBs struggle against it. Now, older QBs that have been in the league for a few more years usually are a little, more calm against it. They don't really panic or anything. But rookies, we take advantage of rookies big time. Like, you see what T-Law did? Yeah, 4 of his interceptions that year were because of us. And there may have been more. Actually, if I'm remembering this correctly, I may be completely wrong on this. Fact check me, please, and don't quote me on this. But I'm pretty sure that if he wouldn't have had as many interceptions as he did against the Titans roster, that he would have finished out even with touchdown to interception ratio. But again, not completely sure about that. You may need to look that up. But anyway, so yeah, rookie quarterbacks struggle against the Titans defense. That's why I have us beating every rookie quarterback. Bucks, I think that's obvious. They're kind of in purgatory right now. They're probably going to be really bad this year. Try and go after like a Drake May or Caleb Williams, and yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. Again, Panthers rookie quarterback thing, and oh yeah, the Ravens. Controversial one for me, I know. But here's the thing. I genuinely feel like that whenever we played the Ravens in the regular season, we do so much better against them than in the playoffs. And I feel like that we are one of the better teams whenever we play against Lamar Jackson. So, me personally, I believe that we can win that game, and it's in London. And the last time that the Ravens were in London, they got boat raced by Blake Bortles. So, like, no, I genuinely do believe. So I just genuinely do believe that this team can beat the Ravens pretty easily too. Maybe not pretty easily, but like you get what I mean. Oh yeah, the Seahawks. Yeah, the Seahawks are definitely one of my probably the most controversial one that I have us beating on this list. 100%. Now it was between that and the Dolphins because I feel like that we could beat either of those teams. But the reason that I don't have us beating the Dolphins is because I think Jalen Ramsey is supposed to be cleared for that. So I just kind of put that there because, like, if Jalen Ramsey is injured, then that will probably swap. I think that we beat the Dolphins, but we don't beat the Seahawks. Vice versa. If we beat the Seahawks, we're losing to the Dolphins. If we beat the Dolphins, we're losing to the Seahawks. No other way around it. And obviously the Texans, both sides. Now, let's take a look at the losses. So, first game is the Browns. Now, the Browns, yeah, they are a good football team. Like, especially if Deshaun Watson is good. If Deshaun Watson is good, this team is Super Bowl caliber. I genuinely mean that. Don't you dare come at me with it's the Browns. They went 11-6 3 years ago with Baker Mayfield at quarterback. They are a good football roster. They can make the playoffs. Okay? And people don't like to look at it that way because Browns are Browns, the Browns are going to stay the same for all of eternity. Just trust me on this one. Okay? I think that they will have one of the best defenses. And again, this does depend on if Deshaun Watson is that guy, which I think he will be coming into next year. But, man, yeah, no, I don't see us beating the Browns, especially if Deshaun is at his best. Okay, and then we got the Bengals. That one's pretty self-explanatory, but I'm still going to explain it to you anyway. Joe Burrow has been cleared. He's going to be healthy for this game, and he has never struggled against our defense. Not in his rookie year, not against us in the divisional round, not against us last year. Like, he is a very calm quarterback in the pocket, and he cannot and he just doesn't feel as much pressure as some of the other quarterbacks in the league do. So yeah, no, Joe Burrow is the center of why they've beat us. That and their defense has also locked up Derrick Henry for some reason. But anyway, let's move on to the Jags. No, wait. The Steelers. Yeah, the Steelers. So, Steelers are also going to be a very, very good football team. Like, they're kind of scary how under the radar they are. George Pickens looks like that guy. Kenny Pickett looks like he has vastly improved. And the defense, TJ Watt is a wrecking ball for a defensive end or left outside linebacker. I'm not too sure what he would be classified as. But, like, yeah, I mean, they were able to beat us with a Big Ben who we thought was going to burst into dust by the end of the year. Imagine what they're going to do with an improved Kenny Pickett, a amazing George Pickens, and a better O line. Like, it's just not gonna happen. We're not gonna. I'm putting this down right now. We're not gonna beat them. Okay, I am planting my foot into that. Okay, any of these other losses, maybe I could see them coming out as wins. Yeah, no, this one is gonna be an L. Okay, I'm very high on the Steelers this year. So we're also going to talk about the Jags because we're probably going to get swept by the Jags, at least in my opinion. Uh, I could see an alternate. I could see some alternative where they end up not living up to the hype and we sweep them. That's very unlikely though because T Law is the real deal. We know this, and you know we just yeah, man. We're just not good enough to beat them at least yet. We need a QB. We need a franchise QB before we can even think about trying to beat them. So yeah, I think we get swept by them. But also, last week of the season, I believe that last week of the season, if we are competing for a playoff spot and we drop one of these games that we're not supposed to, like I don't know, one of the Texans games because we always find a way to lose to the Texans for some reason. Um, yeah, if we found a way to drop one of those Texans games and we got to compete for the playoffs, and the Jags already have the division sealed up and locked up, and they're guaranteed to make the playoffs. I genuinely believe that they will put in their backups in that last week of the season, and I feel like that we could end up beating the Jags in the last week. But that's the only alternative way that I see us beating the Jags. Anyway, so um, the other loss of the season, I have us losing to the Dolphins. Yeah, the Dolphins are a very good football team whenever they're healthy, and all that it is that we just got to see their secondary, man. Like if their secondary is as good as it's hyped up to be, and Jalen Ramsey is healthy by then, yeah, we're gonna lose to them. And I think that could be the biggest blowout of the season if they do end up playing against us at least. So anyway, yeah, so that's my predictions for the 17 game season. I think that we're going to go 11-6, and I think that we're going to make it to the wild card. Now, I'm not too sure who we're going to make it to the wild card against, but it depends if we somehow by some miracle won the division and we played against someone else, then we'll probably beat them and we'll get eliminated in the divisional. If we are in the wild card and we if we're in the wild card round and let me try and think, and we play against a division winner that's not the Jags. Ugh, yeah, no, I don't see that working out in our favor. But anyway, divisional. I if we do end up making it to the divisional round, I think we could win in the divisional round. But I do not think that there's any way that we make it to the AFC Championship. And I honestly have no clue who's going to be in the Super Bowl this year or who's going to win the Super Bowl. Now, Kansas City is the safe choice, obviously, but we got to see them on the field before we completely judge that. And plus, Joe Burrow okay, maybe not Joe Burrow because I think that the people who actually know what they're talking about will tell you Joe Burrow is not as clutch as people actually think he is. Like, I believe I heard the stat. Now, fact check me if I'm wrong, but I think that the stat was that the defense and Joe Burrow have the same amount of fourth quarter touchdowns. Let that sink in for a second. Like, people talk about, oh, he's this clutch, quarterback that's gonna, win the playoff game for you, even though, like, he hasn't done that, at least not yet. So, like, yeah, I do not know. Uh, why was I talking about Joe Burrow there for a second? I can't remember, honestly. Uh, yeah, why was I talking about Joe Burrow? Sorry that I got on that rant. I guess that. Oh yeah, right. Oh no, it was because I said, "Oh, okay, my bad." Couldn't remember why I was talking about Joe Burrow, but now I do. But anyway, so yeah, those are my final predictions for the Titans regular season, and 11-6 at best. We go to the AFC Championship game. I do not see us going to the Super Bowl, and I definitely do not see us winning the Super Bowl. We just don't have the quarterback for it. But anyway, this has been a rundown of your Tennessee Titans 2023 schedule. I love y'all, and tighten up.